What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So progressives are looking into a $4.1 trillion infrastructure package. The White House is actually considering more mask mandates, and Democrats are saying that the bipartisan infrastructure bill is not enough and they should just go forward with a budget reconciliation bill. Well, all these things play a major impact as to whether or not we see any additional stimulus in the next package. Will we see a stimulus check? Will there be more direct payments, or will we just see more infrastructure? Well, we have a lot of reports and a lot of news to cover, so let's get into it. First off, I just want to say welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update for Thursday, July 22nd. Hopefully you guys are having an incredible week. If you are, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, and also consider subscribing so that I can keep you updated on everything that is going on. Now, let's get into the update for today. What we're hearing this morning is that progressives are actually eyeing a $4.1 trillion infrastructure package. The reason they came up with a $4.1 trillion infrastructure package is they're putting this $3.5 trillion package along with a $1.2 trillion package. The reason why they come up with these numbers is in that $1.2 trillion package, it only has about $600 billion in new funding. So technically, what they're looking at is actually 4.1 trillion in new funding. The other 600 billion, or which would take it up to about 4.7 billion dollars. Well, that's what they're looking at passing. So there's a lot that could go in here, but just understand, some are saying right now that they're actually in favor of just doing a budget reconciliation bill because there's no reason to try to get a bipartisan bill if the Republicans are just going to object to it. Now, even though that is what it looks like, Republicans only stated they were blocking the bill yesterday, or at least that vote, because they wanted to see the bill written. It is not yet written, and even many Democrats were questioning whether or not they should oppose the bill or not, when only one decided to actually do it. That was Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. He opposed the bill, but that is just so he can come back in later and actually reconsider his vote. So that's more of just a technicality behind that. So even Senator Tim Kaine, who even brought up the idea of changing the order, going from a bipartisan bill to a budget reconciliation bill first, well, even Tim Kaine, he said, if for some reason the bipartisan version doesn't work out, then we ought to be looking at a reconciliation bill that's at $4.1 trillion. But all these talks are still in the early stages. This is just an idea. It's just an idea. Now, do many lawmakers want to push forward with this idea? Most likely. This is probably what they want to do, but we will see. They also say that if we see more delays, then the leadership will simply move on and go towards a reconciliation immediately. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true. Honestly, don't. I question whether or not Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer would do that. I don't think he would, but this report indicates that it's a possibility. He might just move forward with a reconciliation bill if it looks like there's more and more delays from the Republican Party. But even as the senators move forward with more negotiations, multiple representatives in the House have already stated that they're actually a firm no on this bill, that they do not support this because it doesn't provide enough to the American people. But again, this is the bipartisan bill. This is just the infrastructure bill. This isn't anything that has to do with stimulus. So some say it's not big enough. Some say there's really no reason to pass it as a bipartisan bill and get the Republican verbiage included because they don't need it. They can just move forward with the budget reconciliation bill. But if they could move forward with the budget reconciliation bill, and they've known this for months, why didn't they do that? Well, the reports out last month are indicating that no, they cannot do this because Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema would actually oppose this. There's multiple senators that would oppose going straight to a budget reconciliation, which is the Democrat-only bill. So, what we know right now is the chance of a bipartisan bill passing, through the Senate is pretty good. The problem is in the House. What we are hearing right now is House representatives aren't actually very happy with the Senate because they're leaving them out of the negotiation. The Senate is trying to put together this bill and then expecting the House to pretty much just rubber stamp it. Pretty much just, we're not even going to read it. Yes, it's good enough. Let's get it passed. That's what they're expecting. But representatives in the House are saying that no, we will not do that. And even Nancy Pelosi came out again today and stated that she will not bring a bipartisan bill on the floor of the House until the Senate passes a budget reconciliation. But here's the thing. The Senate, they are trying to pass this bipartisan bill. They want to get it passed before they go on recess in August. So I believe it's August 8th. Well, if they go on recess on August 8th, so a little bit over 2 weeks, first off, the Senate, they're not going to be able to negotiate and pass a budget reconciliation bill in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. There's no way. So this means we're going to be in for a rough August. Even Representative Steve Cohen said he guesses there's about 20 no's in the House right now. He even said he's a no, and so did Representative Henry Johnson. They stated that they are firm no's. They will not be passing a bipartisan bill in the House, or at least they will not be supporting it. So the main thing right now that we're hearing is that progressives, okay, or at least this is from progressives and many Democrats in the House, is that the bipartisan bill doesn't address the needs for the American people, or at least the needs that they want. So what they're saying right now is until we see more, they're not going to support this bill. So why is there such a need for the bipartisan bill, this infrastructure bill, according to many? They don't know. They have no idea why President Biden wants to push for this. Some say that with jobs in question, that with the economy having slower growth, with COVID ramping up, and with stimulus checks running low, right now we need to do more. They're saying this is an extremely important time, and we will remember this time. According to Democrats, they say that in the next couple of months, we are going to look back and be like, you know what? We should have done more. Now, data from the Federal Reserve shows that the U.S. economic growth actually cooled in June. And I want to explain why this is, because a lot of people, when I was reading the comments on one of these articles that were stating this, people were really scared. Like, well, what's going on? What's next? Well, I want to kind of put you at ease for a second. The reason why we saw the economic growth slow or somewhat cool is because the stimulus funding started to wear off. The stimulus checks were gone. Many were saying that or at least from reports, were saying that there's still about 50% of the stimulus funds were still sitting there in bank accounts. However, talking to people here in the community, asking you guys if you still have any stimulus funds, many people said no. Many people said it was gone within the first week. Some people said it was gone before you even received it. But here's the thing. Many economists predicted we'd see a slow in economic growth in June. But most economists said we would see this pullback, but it would come back again. We would actually, kind of bounce back. Here's why. They said once the child tax credit payments went out, then we would see more growth, but those payments didn't come out until last week. 7 days ago today is when we got those payments. So just understand, we might not see great economic growth for July. We may see some. August is when some are expecting. We will see some decent growth unless we get hit even harder by COVID and this Delta variant. And speaking of the Delta COVID variant, what we know right now is the U.S. reported yesterday just shy of 61,000 new COVID cases. 2 days ago, we were into 62,000 new COVID cases. You may be thinking, well, that's not bad. In the winter, we were up over 100, right? We were up. Well, our 7-day average, okay, just to give you an idea, a week ago, it was at 28,000 new COVID cases per day. Today, it's actually at 41,000 new COVID cases per day. Hospitalizations are up. Some hospitals are saying that they are reaching somewhat of a capacity. But the big thing is, and I didn't know if I wanted to bring this up. I will bring it up, but just to report this. But according to multiple reports, doctors and nurses in multiple hospitals, specifically in the South, okay, where the COVID cases are a little bit higher, and vaccination rates are fairly low. They are reporting that they get a lot of patients that come in that are experiencing these COVID symptoms. Some that are even, close to dying. And they are requesting a vaccine at that point. And many of these doctors and nurses are saying that no, it's actually too late. Even if we were to give you a vaccine right now, chances are it wouldn't do anything, so we're not going to do it. But, and that's one of those things that I wasn't sure if I wanted to even, mention. But when there was dozens of these doctors and nurses that are saying this exact same thing, it's one of those things I thought might be important to at least know. Now, on top of the COVID cases, on top of the economy or the economic growth slowing just a little bit, we also have the White House aides that are, or senior White House officials and some aides are actually contemplating whether they should urge vaccinated Americans to continue to wear a mask when outdoors or in a more public setting. Well, some experts say that this is what is needed. We need our government to come out and say, hey, you must do this. And they must be forceful. However, they say the Biden administration must be cautious here because if they come out and they are too forceful, okay, this could actually hurt the party during the midterm elections this coming year. So, and I think this is very interesting. What we are hearing right now is, okay, some experts say that yes, you need to come out and the government needs to come out and say everybody needs to wear a mask. But at the same time, they say, but we need to be careful because if our government comes out and says everybody needs to wear a mask, the problem is they could actually hurt their party's plans when they try to be reelected for the House or the Senate this coming year. So again, it's more political games, but we will see where that goes. Many are worried right now that the funds were sent out over the past year, or that were sent out, they just were not enough. The stimulus checks, many people don't have them. Unemployment benefits, 25 states canceled them. Some will be losing their benefits very soon, in about a month and a half. The economy is going to pull back, and when it does, most will not be prepared for it. Experts are saying that what they are expecting is to see progressives push for more direct relief to the American people very soon. And when they do, they anticipate moderates will actually oppose this, and this would actually, potentially hinder the infrastructure package from passing. So, they say expect to fight no matter what bill is getting negotiated. Many experts also are worried that the COVID situation is getting worse, and with today's weekly jobless claims coming in at 419,000, which is up over 50,000 people from just last week alone, some worry that this will be the new normal. They say the days of seeing 300,000 jobless claims per week, that could be over. So when we factor in everything, things are not looking good right now. Okay, for the economy. Congress is taking their sweet time. We potentially have a recess in 2 weeks for lawmakers. All right, we see COVID is coming back. The stimulus payments are almost gone. The child tax credit payments, for some, it actually doesn't go as far as they were predicting, which is not great. $250 or $300 per month is not a lot of money. But if you have 4 kids, and let's say you're getting $1,000 or $1,200, that could go a long ways. But $250 or $300 per month, and you only have one child, that's just not enough. It's just not enough. So that's what we know right now. As always, as I know more, I promise I plan to share more. I just wanted to keep you updated on what is currently going on. I will do another video this afternoon because there's still a lot of stuff that I didn't discuss in this video. But the reason why I want to break it up is because it gets somewhat confusing once I mix it into the jobless claims, the reports from other lawmakers, potentially going from a $3.5 trillion infrastructure package up to a $4.1 trillion package. It could get very confusing. So again, I will break that up. I'll do another video this afternoon, probably around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys have any questions on anything, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you again for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.